Good morning, everybody. This is Tatum. She comes in nice and early and gets lots of stuff done here. And she's feeding Flash. Flash is our two-toed sloth, or two-fingered sloth, and he's having some breakfast. So if you want to come hang out with Flash and feed him, you can do that here. It's nice and warm inside, so even if it's freezing outside, it's always 75 to 80 degrees here. You know, we don't really encourage swimsuit wear, but I think Tatum's been debating it since it feels so good in here. Guys, she's feeding him some green beans, and I'm sure you can see that large object on the ground. That is not a huge concrete planter. That is a sulcata tortoise. So we have Franklin and Fiona, and they like to hang out with us in here because it's really cold outside. Once it's a little bit warmer, they'll go back outside. They would be okay outside, but they would burrow down in the ground. And then it would be not a case of where's Waldo, but where's the tortoise? And then that lovely sound that you hear is not a torture device designed to make you use the restroom, but that's a fish tank. So we have 3 sloths here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. We have Flash, Dash, and Zoe. But in terms of ages, it goes Flash, Zoe, and then Dash. We just opened up a cool thing that's Sloth Keeper for the day. We only do those Monday through Thursday. So if you want to spend 3 hours with a sloth, you can do that here. And that would be with all the sloths. He's stoked on life, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Did you say we're gonna have Raya burgers?
No. Did that go to the store?
I don't think so. I think it's here.
What car you got?
He was here and fed his animals. He was in mom's or grandma's car maybe?
This is only your car and his car here.
Yeah, he was here but then he left. I don't know where he went, but he left.
Yeah, he's not at the house.
Hey, Stefan, you can't eat upside down. Only animals that really can't eat upside down are birds. So you notice when they put their head down in the water and then they kind of scoop it up and then they shake their head, that's what they're doing. I believe the act of swallowing and pushing it down is peristalsis. Look at him in there. That is right. When you stand upside down, the blood does rush to your head. That is correct. Sometimes I do that if I can't think straight. Like I'm not getting enough blood, I'll just stand upside down to see if I can think better. Sometimes I'm like, well, that was a bad idea. Sorry guys, sometimes when we don't have guests, we insert a little bit of humor into our lives, so you just have to give us a little bit of grace. It's really cold outside, and I think it's the first time I've had a monster in about a month. So if I start speaking in pig Latin, yeah. You know, uye, onde, one, utwe, osles, ea, everyday a, earhay. Onde, uriwe, ime, ixpe, igpe, atenle, asfe, uye, uriwe.
Oh, that's very cute.
Umke, ute, akoie, iverre, sedre, armfe, uye, ovle. Don't worry, I won't speak pig Latin all day, or somebody will think that they're looking at the wrong channel. So yeah, guys, we're just feeding Flash here. We're having a little bit of fun before we go have a meeting. Obviously don't have to worry about the cooling right now because it's 18 degrees outside. Yes, Lorraine, we are in Tennessee. We're in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. A lot of people, when they're watching these lives for the first time, they think that either this is a house or this is the only place where Flash hangs out. It's just where he comes out and gets fed. Flash comes down every morning at 10 a.m. to get fed. For some reason, he didn't come down at 10. We would just feed him anyway whenever he wanted to come down. You want to come out, you want to come hang out with the sloths, can your kids sit in the room with me? Hey, Foss Mama, everything has an age on our website. So I don't know how old the kids are, but sloths like slow, quiet movements. So if you have a 4-year-old that looks like they have drank 6 cases of Red Bull, that's not a good fit for sloths. And that's part of the reason for the Sloth Keeper experience. The minimum age, is, if you're by yourself, is 18. If it's a child with an adult, that's 13. But that's for the all-day experience. To feed Flash, I think it's 6 or 8. Everything is on the website. Don't quote me, just look at the website at OcoeeRiversideFarm.com. And then to hold baby Zoe, I think that is 8 years old. Again, check out the website. That's where all the facts are written down. I'm just a human with a meat computer in my head. So Flash is eating some zucchini. He usually has some squash, green beans, sweet potato, and he gets a little bit of fruit every day. Do we have pandas? We don't have pandas because their diet is pretty specific, and we don't have a private jet to go back and forth and pick up all their food. But if someone has access to a private jet, we're down. There's an airport right down the road. We can make this happen. So we would love that to happen. Your daughter lives in Whitwell. Yeah, not far at all. Where's Whitwell, Tatum? No, Whitwell, Tennessee. Our sloth's nice. They're kind of like any kind of animal, right? So you could have Frisky, the golden retriever that wants to gnaw your leg off, but you could also have the Rottweiler bear who you've raised since a pup, and he's sweet. Okay, so yeah, pretty close. Our sloths are nice because they're around us all the time, and we're nice. Dash and Zoe you can hold because they've been held since birth, but we do not hold Flash.
Nope, we just give Flash some pay.
And he loves it. Hey, Deb Dog. That's been a kind of up for debate that sloths actually see right side up when they're upside down. I think that they're just used to it. I don't think that their computer is all switched around. We've been talking to a bunch of vets and people that have been specializing in sloths for 30, 40, 50 years. So we're working on it. Can you ask a weird but serious question? Those are my favorite. Go for it. Let's hear it. Yes, Tatum is real. She's not a sloth, if that's your question. How far are we from Knoxville? We're about an hour and a half, depending where in Knoxville. If you're driving down here, I personally hate the interstate. I would roll down 411 and just go slow, because every little town that you go through, the speed limit drops, and if you don't slow down, you're going to receive a nice gift from the local PD, so make sure you obey the speed limit. So what was the question? I think somebody was gonna, what does Flash do is you hold him? I'm not sure what that means, but we don't hold Flash because he doesn't want to be held.
It's not natural feeling for him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. He's not really in touch with his feelings yet. You know how some people aren't huggers? My girlfriend's a therapist, so she's been working with Flash, trying to get him in touch with his feelings, so maybe one day. Do sloths weigh much? Flash is about 13, 14 pounds. How do we keep them clean? They clean themselves, just like a cat. Tracy from Philly, that city of brotherly love. Country girl, if you're jealous, you don't have to be jealous. You can come here and hang out with all the sloths, and we have over 125 animals. You can bottle feed baby kangaroos too. Let's see, can he do any tricks? Yes, he can do awesome tricks. He holds his poop for about a week. So to me, that's a pretty crazy trick. And the reason they do that is they digest their food very, very slowly. And out in the wild, they're not wanting to come down and use the restroom every day because that makes them vulnerable to predators. Indianapolis, there you go. You go watch any of the Formula or IndyCar stuff. It's pretty awesome up there. So again, guys, if you're just tuning in, Tatum is feeding Flash. He is a two-fingered sloth. You've also heard the term two-toed sloth. The reason people are moving more towards two-fingered is because his front limbs, right, his forelimbs, those are the ones that only have two. So regardless if it's a two-toed or a three-toed sloth, they have the same number of digits on their back legs. Where are we located? We are located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. Why do they eat upside down? Because we're below them. Out in the jungle or wherever, they're gonna eat upside down, right side up, or wherever. Vancouver Island, that is beautiful up there. That's the one, is that just across the border? I'm trying to remember that it's a little island just inside Washington. Is it Bainbridge? I can't remember. My uncle had a sailboat and I went out there and it was really cool. The movie Hook, that really cool sailboat that was in the movie Hook, it was right beside his and it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And there's some island that has tons of flowers up there. Lenore City, hey Stacy, how are you doing? Victoria Island, that's right, Knuckles. I think that's beautiful up there. How long is their lifespan? So in the wild, it might be 20 or 30 years. It's hard to have data because, you know, we gave him a phone to check in every day, but because he doesn't have opposable thumbs, he can never hit the check-in button. But in the wild, he's going to be susceptible to predators, being electrocuted, or losing his habitat. In captivity, there's been a couple different records. So Jan and Paula were in Germany. I think it's like 52 and 54 years old. Smithsonian also had one that reached 49. The name wasn't as cool, so I don't remember it, but Jan and Paula were in Germany. So we're really hoping that the sloths basically outlive us. How do sloths handle the cold? They don't. They would go into a state of torpor as their temperature either went up or down, but really what would happen is inside of them, the bacteria would start to die off, and also outside in the wild, the sloth moth would start to die off. So he could die with a full stomach of food because he's not warm enough to process it. It's pretty amazing how God made these animals to survive in specific climates. Yeah, for sure. Guys, look, he's gonna climb in his room. I'm gonna try to jump in here. Boom. You can actually have a sloth for a roommate here. It's dangerous to feed them when they are upside down, they can choke. Hey, Geisha, that sounds really interesting. Do you have a link to that article that shows that? I'd love to read that. We haven't really found that to be true, nor has our veterinarian who has 30 years of experience with sloths. But if you have some information about that, I'd love to read it. Oh, I'm not being rude, Geisha. I really would be interested to read that because we're always wanting to learn because we don't know everything. We're not a sloth. But we consult with experts who actually have sloths and been working with them for 30, 40, 50 years. Can you hold a sloth? Yeah, you can hold a sloth. We have 2 other sloths here, Dash and Zoe. Why do they move that slow? They move really slow to conserve their energy. Their metabolism can actually drop down to 200 to 300 calories per day. And I'm pretty sure that I would burn 200 or 300 calories walking up a flight of stairs. Oh, the girl didn't look happy? Tatum is happy. She just hasn't had her hug yet. I only give her 2 hugs this morning. Tatum's minimum for smiling is 5 hugs. So once we have our meeting, we'll hug it out. They're my favorite too. I actually really like the camels and the kangaroos too. Hey guys, we're gonna be nice. We're not gonna be mean to each other. If people get cuckoo bananas, as I tell my daughter, then we'll just kind of take a little time out. Sloth fingerprints are close to humans. Dixon, I'm not really sure what that means, man, but feel free to send us some information. Those are sloths. What if he falls?